Learning to the Nishmas Etta Kelim Perek Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Shear kli cheres li tahar. The shear of a kli cheres in order to become tahar. Meaning that if you had a kli cheres that was broi likabel tuma and it gets a hole of a certain size, which we will discuss, then it will no longer be mekabel tuma. And even if it was tameh, it will be tar as if the whole thing broke. So the Mishnah says, "Ha'asui la'oichlin shiura bezesim." If the kli was meant to hold foods, so then the shear of the nekev is the amount that an olive could fall through it. Now, this is really a machlekes tanoim in the next Mishnah. This Mishnah is going like Rameir and holds that the shear is bezesim. And this is whether the kli is meant to hold zesim or it was a kli meant to hold something bigger or smaller, the shear is always going to be zesim. Now the shaila is, let's say you were miyached this kli specifically to hold things that are bigger than zesim. For l'mashal, a pomegranate. You have a kli cheres that's miyuched set aside to hold things for a pomegranate. So in the Gemara and Shabbos on Daf Tzadik Hey Amibeiz, Rava says, Chomesh midas b'kli cheres. There's 5 different types of measurements b'kli cheres. Even though our Mishnah only lists 2, we said one of the 2. The second one is going to be l'gabe mashka. The shear is b'mashka, and the amount of a mashka comes out, which we'll talk about, or really kekainis mashka. But in Rava's 5 things, one of the last one is that nikiv. When he says nikiv k'moitzi zeisim, it's tar milakabel zeisim. He writes v'adayin klihu lekabel rimoinim. Rava says that it's still considered a kli to be mekabel rimoinim, and Rashi over there explains that if you meyached it to hold rimoinim, then it can now become mekabel tuma mikan alaba, or if it was meyuched the rimoinim mitchila, then it's not going to be tar when it gets kemoitzi mashka. That's Rava shita. But at the end of the Gemara over there, in Daf Tzadik Vavam and Aleph, it brings a different member from an Amoira that says Shir Kli Cheres Kemoitze Zeisim, and Tais over there asks, what do you mean? So Mishnah Kelim, Perek Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Well, we're learning over here. So Taisus over there says that Mandamar argues in Rava, and that Mandamar holds that even if you're miyached at Rimoinim, the shir is still going to be Kemoitze Zeisim. The Rashi over here nems on like Rava. So the Mishnah continues, Ha'asei l'mashkin. Let's say you have a shir kli cheres that's meant to hold liquids, then shiur b'mashka, the shir is b'mashka. And Rav over there again says this also, that if something is for mashka, then it's totally in the shir of koines mashka. And Rav Asi says this over there in the Gemara also on Tzadik Vav, that shoinin kli cheres shiuroi b'koines mashka. What's koines mashka? So there's actually a Gemara in Nida that has a machlekes tanoim how you're mishara this koines mashka on daf mem tes amen aleph. We won't get into it, but it says over there ketzad boitkin klicheres leida nikif b'koines mashka, and it's 2 shitas over there. The Mishnah ends off ha'osei lekach ulekach. Let's say you have a kli that's meant to hold both. The way the Rashi explains it, that it's a kli, let's say, to cook meat. And meat you can't cook unless you have liquid also. So you're never going to use it for the salad unless there's also a liquid. So you may think that its share should be kekoines mashka because you need a liquid. And if you can't hold the liquid, then what's the point? On that, the chiddush is, as lino l'chumra, we go l'chumra and we're mishar bezeisim, to be mitaret, that until it has the share of kemoitzi zeisim, the much larger share than koines mashka is moitzi zeisim, until then it's going to be tamei. And that's the Mishnah says, l'kach matin noisei l'chumroi b'zeisim. Mishnah Beis, chavish sheshiuru b'greigris, a barrel that's meant to hold greigris. So this is the 3 machlekes that we said. Reb Shimon says shiur b'greigris are divrei Reb Shimon. That's Reb Shimon shita. Reb Yehuda omer be'goizim, the share is for nuts to come out of it. And Rameir omer b'zeisim. Like we said before, the last Mishnah was a stam Mishnah k'Rameir, and the Rosh speaks out over here that it's a stam v'achar kach machlekes. So normally by stam v'achar kach machlekes you don't paskin like the stam. There are other shitas. There's a shail in the Rambam because he paskins like the last Mishnah. He also paskins over here like Rabbi Yehuda. So l'chari he can't hold that the last Mishnah is going like Rameir. Ayin Sham. The Mishnah continues. Halefes, which we spoke about in the last parak, is an ilfes, a pan that's meant to hold. You cook vegetables or things inside of it. Bakadera or other patch. Yura b'zeisim. Again, the shear is kemoitze zeisim, like we said Before, that was that last halacha that it's also lekach or lekach. Then we go to Chumrah, and it's tali on Zeisem. The Mishnah continues, hapach v'hatefi, which are things that are meant to hold oil. Shiurim b'shemen, the share over here is shemen, which is actually a smaller share. The Rosh says, shel shemen dak is thinner. He says that there's a kli that could hold water and wine, but it won't be able to hold oil. The oil is going to go right out of it. The Mishnah continues, ha-tzirtzer, which also we spoke about in the Mishnah at the end of the last parak, is meant to hold liquid. We spoke about the kind of crown on the top, like a fence that holds in it. So since this thing is meant to hold liquid, shiur b'mayim, the shear is kikoines mashker. Shimon omer shloshtan b'zerainim. All three, the pach, the tefi, and the tzirtzer, is tali in zerainim. What's Reb Shimon shita? Reb Shimon holds that sometimes this is used for zerainim, seeds. So Mela, the Rush explains that we're going l'chumra, that it's still going to become tamei until it's the bigger amount of a hole that the seeds can't stay inside of it anymore. Ner shiurei b'shemen, because again it's meant for liquid, and Eliezer Omer similar to Reb Shimon. Matter of fact, the Rash looks like he's good as the Girsa Reb Shimon over here, that bepruta ketana, because sometimes it's used for a pruta, so until it has that hole, you sometimes will put in your ner, besides oil, you won't use it for oil, use it to hold your coins, so it's still going to become tamei until the coins fall out of it. Now, lastly, the Mishnah says, it sounds like an unrelated halacha to having holes in being mevatel kli, but it's a different way of being mevatel kli. If you have a ner shenitol piv, you have this candle that holds oil, and usually at the end of the candle there's a different opening where the wick came out of it, but over here it's broken or it's taken off, so you can't use it anymore. So tar, it's a kli cheres that's nishbar, and therefore it's at tar. Shal adama, if the ner was made out of adama, shehusek piv bipsila, and its piv, that area where the wick comes out of, was husak, meaning it burnt from a little fire, so then it's tar. What's the pshat in this? The Rosh says that also it's unusable. He says it's mifrech, it's going to break apart, and therefore it's ki'ilu nittel. He speaks out that this ner of Adama was also nitzaref b'kivshan. It was first put into a kivshan, because stam kli Adama don't have tumah. He brings from the Gemara in Shab, nafnu chesam and alf. So he says it can't be a regular ner shel Adama. It was a ner shel Adama that was actually made into a real, like a kli cheres, by putting it into the kivshan.